Good morning, everyone. First time tuning in, I'm Chris, and this is Pia's Projects. All right, so today we're gonna work on freshening up the motor. Okay, valve cover's coming off. Probably the intake is coming off as well. Exhaust is coming off. Well, I mean, the manifold and then the little pipe that dumps right under the passenger seat. Also, I'm gonna do service on transmission. Basically a whole tune-up refresh. I don't plan on pulling the motor, but obviously we'll see how the day goes. So the plan is do motor transmission stuff, get to the point where I need exhaust. Then in the next week or so, take it to an exhaust shop, have them do an exhaust for me. Then come back, finish up some interior stuff I want to do, and then a little suspension modification and clean up the outside, and then basically it'll be done. At least for a while, right? Real quick, if you guys follow my Instagram and whatnot, motorcycle is for sale, okay? If you know anyone who needs a bike, wants a bike, I mean, it's a fantastic motorcycle. I just barely ride it now, and that's a shame, because this deserves to be ridden. And if you watched my last video, waiting on parts for the Beetle, okay? So, things are always happening. Things, here's some headers I picked up a couple weeks ago. We will be wrapping them, okay? Also, got some paint, and it is old Ford blue. So, and then a bunch of gaskets and some tune-up stuff, okay? So, went to take the top bolts off. They came off on the passenger side. They're loose on the driver's side. I need to get the ones underneath. Well, I can't quite reach from up top because half of it's blind. So, went underneath. Well, problem underneath is it's almost too low for me to lay under there. So, I had to put it on the ramps, okay? Well, while under here, you can see it's quite greasy. So, I've already sprayed degreaser. And my plan is do a nice little wash, clean, and scrape off this stuff. And then as I drive it, you know, figure out what's leaking. I do have a transmission pan gasket. I have an oil pan gasket. We'll try and get to those today. But yeah, we're gonna try and reach, so you can see there's a bolt. There's another bolt right here. I think I have to scoot up a little bit to get the other ones. But yeah, it's it's grimy under here. Everything I can tell, this is, you know, the original motor. There's no telling what's been done and hasn't been done. Mileage, it's hard to actually tell, because on the clock it has 31,000. So is it 131? Looking at the body of the truck, probably. Also, could be 231. It's hard to say. All right, well, driver's side is out. This is what it was. That's what we're swapping to. All right. What a difference. The flow, I mean, is basically non-existent there. So this will let it breathe better. I mean, open it up just a little bit more. So let's pull the other side then real quick. All right, before I finish getting the other header out, I need to take care of the exhaust. So it's unbolted up here, and then here, unfortunately, I can't really pull this out, right? So I'm not sure where it was. It looks like it's welded. It looks like it's welded up here. It's welded over here. So I'm gonna cut this and see if I could just rotate and pull this out. I already disconnected the clamp that was here. Oh, exhaust is out, and you can see all the grime here. So we will definitely be cleaning this up under here. But yeah, exhaust. Plenty of dirt and grime. But yeah, progress nonetheless. All right, second stock header, passenger side, is out. So that's all out. I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling plugs. All right, yeah. New plugs. I mean, they're not terrible, but the gap is probably bigger than what it needs to be. So the good thing is they're all burning the same, which means they're all roughly in the same condition. All right. So one isn't like overly wet or has an overabundance of soot on it. So yeah. Okay. That's promising for sure. There we go. Powered by Ford. All right. These are gonna get cleaned up. Scrape that old paint off, wipe the insides out, and then paint it. And then in here, I'm pleased for the most part. Alright, I put the degreaser on it. I already rinsed it once, but now I'm going to use the brush to go over everything. Alright, I scraped as much loose paint that would come off and then sanded over the whole valve cover. When I was done, I wiped the whole thing with acetone. I'm going to do the driver's side, and then this way I have both prepped painted at the same time. Oh, shoot. All right. Well, looks like my plan has changed. I was gonna pull the intake manifold off, but I don't really want to mess with the rockers or anything, or adjust lash. So, I guess I'm just cleaning this up and putting it all back together. I guess it's better I do it now, or figure that out now than later. That's all right. Eventually, whenever I do a newer intake, a bigger intake with better flow, and ideally a 4-barrel carburetor, I'll do all that then. Maybe even some fancier valve covers. Granted, I really like the OG ones that look. Okay, well, let's slap all that back together. The old gasket is cleaned off. Okay, I'm probably gonna run over it one more time because I see a couple spots that I missed. But next, spark plugs. Okay, these came pre-gapped. Okay, and these are NGK. The WR5 2438s. So, at least based on what I looked at, that's right. What I'm going to do is put some anti-seize on it. All right, much better. I do need to wipe it down, but like some of this is not coming off that easy, and I think that's just because of the angle of everything. Probably call it for a night. There's a local car meet, but pretty much got a lot of things cleaned up. I'm gonna soak underneath one more time with the degreaser, because tomorrow we're gonna wash all that off. And yeah, so they're getting there. Well, it's time to paint. Are the valve covers perfect? No. Is the truck perfect? No. But I pretty much got everything that was flaking off. This, I've gone over the sanding block, and like, you can't even feel that there's a raise. I'm sure you still might see it a little bit, but all in all, it'll be fine. I'm gonna give it a wipe down, acetone, clear the residue. Then we'll do at least 1 coat, maybe 2 coats of primer. And then the color, which is Old Ford Blue. All right. Yeah. I mean, that should be space of the process. I am gonna tape this off as best as I can. Granted, there's definitely blue in there from someone before. All right, we are going to change the filter on the transmission. This is the filter, the Wix part number, and it includes the gasket, okay? Fantastic setup. So we'll hop under there. While I'm under there, I'm gonna try and clean up as best as I can. All right, what I'm doing here, I've left 1 bolt in, and I'm gonna let it drain for a little bit, because there is no drain or no drain plug, right? So let this filter down a bit and we'll go from there. Well, I tweaked it just a hair, and then whoosh, it all came out. So luckily enough, I have the cardboard, so we'll just mop it all up. All right, this is definitely transmission gasket, the pan gasket failure. So you could see all the brakes, like, so it's an old cork filter, but there's a brake. There's brakes. It's, yeah. Well, I've cleaned up most of this now. Okay. And up here. But look, this is everything that was in on the crossbar. Okay. So I still need to pull the filter and replace that, but this should Definitely will clean up a lot better. Alright, paint is cleaned out. I scraped most of the grime off the bottom. So, gasket's been laying in the sun to flatten out. And now we'll put it on. Alright, did I show it? Yeah. So, pan in. Oil drained. Filter off. Now putting new filter in. Hey, especially vehicles that you don't drive often, put a date, put a mileage on there. Yeah, I mean, I would like to say I'm gonna do this every 3 months, every 6 months. It might be a once-a-year oil change, okay? So, write it down, gives you a little reminder, okay? Well, I goofed up. So, put the valve covers on, gaskets, put oil in. That seems to be fine. Went to put transmission fluid in, and then I immediately hear it running out the back. Well, when I was cleaning, or taking the old pan off, this fell out. Meant to look it up, start messing with something else. Said, oh cool, slap it all together. Completely forgot. So I guess this is like a stopper. It's broke, that's why it's in weird funky shape. And yeah, so I'm gonna order one of those, put that in. Should fix that. That probably was the whole leak issue. I mean, the gasket was roached, but so I am stopping here, okay? I don't know. 2 days straight thrashing on things. I may come back this evening and wrap, but honestly, I think I'm done for today. I'm gonna edit, and then we'll follow up on this next week, where hopefully header is on, fluids, everything's back together, running, and we're taking it to the exhaust shop. Okay, that would be ideal. But hey, we've made it this far. Let's at least show you valve cover. And actually, let me put the air cleaner on so you can basically get the whole look. Here we go. Now, yes, would it look so much better if it had a high-rise intake and that was a 4-barrel carburetor, or even, you know, a Holly Sniper? Sure. But you can't tell me that blue doesn't look good. You know? Powered by Ford. Yeah. So, wires. Put the distributor back on. Finish repairing transmission fluid, and wrap, clean the surface for the exhaust, and then it needs to go to the exhaust shop. So, yep, I appreciate everyone sticking around. Hey, this week we made it to 400 subscribers. Thank you, everyone. Let's try to hit 500 before the end of the year, okay? Thank you, everyone. Don't forget, there's always a solution. All right, so I talked to a buddy who rebuilds transmissions, and It looks like I just have a bad gasket. That plastic piece, he said, don't worry about that. I don't even know if you can even replace it anymore, is what he said. But I'm just going to buy a better gasket. Looking at the filter kit I bought, it looks like it's just a third-party cheap gasket. So I'm going to buy a Fel Pro gasket, and that should fix it. So hopefully that helps clear things up.